Welcome back to Nothing Cast.
I got the original cast.
The original cast.
The original cast.
Isn't this the only cast?
When was the last time we did one of these? Probably like
wow,
6 months ago, probably.
Something. I'll look at the backlog.
We're busy traveling and having a kid.
Normal.
It's all we do now.
All we do is have kids and travel.
Yeah. Between the two of us.
I mean, that's significant.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
No, we're busy people.
Yeah.
But anyways, we just finished talking about Stranger Things.
Yeah, and didn't record. We could have done a full episode. We didn't record it.
Oh, we're a lick of it.
So,
I mean,
there's that content down the drain.
One thought I had though, which is we could wrap up that, and I'll wrap it up by talking about how they wrapped it up, which is, and I was talking about it with Jess and at the end I'm like where it was done and like I kind of like let it all kind of soak in, like it was like, I worked like we did like a camp thing for church, and then I worked a night shift like right after, and then I napped for like 2 hours and then watched 3 hours of Stranger Things, so I had to take a while to like kind of soak it all in. And so like after like a couple days I was like, you know what, I thought it was pretty good overall, but I feel like that they lose just cause like there wasn't really like a good story reason for it. It wasn't like, oh, this character didn't resolve their character arc. That's why they lost. Like, we've given so many like gripes to Infinity War, but even though it doesn't really like have anything to do with what's physically happening, because Iron Man and Captain America haven't made up as friends, you know they're gonna lose. Right. And so part of your brain's okay with it.
Right. Yeah.
And so because there wasn't any, it's like, oh, like all these characters,
they built it up more as
they're building up their arcs, and it's like I already knew there was another season, and I knew that they would. I realized lose that, or it would continue somehow, but I'm like. But like it's just like, oh, so that just didn't work.
Right. Yeah. Like
just cause.
Just cause
their plan just doesn't work. Just cause. Okay.
Yeah, because like Nancy shoots the heck out of him. Oh yeah. And he's like,
I thought he was just a guy with powers.
He was a physical guy.
Like if you shot Elle, she would die.
Right. Yeah. But I guess because he's Michael Myers or whatever, he can survive. But because like they. So all the other plans like worked, right? Like I guess Max got fucked up pretty good.
Yeah, she got the garbage dispenser. You put them into the cube.
Yeah, like they, but Elle still like defeated him in their like in the mindscape or whatever.
Yeah, Mike fulfilled his arc. Elle kind of fulfilled her arc.
Hopper got to chop the head off of Demogorgon with a sword.
Eddie Munson got an arc.
He got an arc. He's kind of. Did you like him?
I actually really liked him.
Yeah, I liked him.
The more I think about it, the more I realize that he's just like he's the the nerd Steve of the group, where it's like he's like older and like he's like likable, but like it kind of went to different like it's like has bad grades for a different reason, and like like it's just like he's like king of the nerds, like there's like he has an aura to him. You don't want to mess with him for like a different reason.
I think initially I was like, this guy's gonna be annoying, but then I then I started to like him.
Yeah, I think it's the first scene with him where I'm like, I'm not sure, and then like there's the bit where he's like trying to sell drugs to what's her face, and he's like. And it's her idea, so it's not even like he's like trying to push it on her, and he's like super chill about the whole thing. Like he's not like intimidated by the fact that she's like the lead jock's girlfriend or whatever. He's just like, hey, if you don't want to do this, you can just leave. Like I don't care. Like he's like, this isn't make or break my weekend, and so I think they do a good job there with that. And I guess that also reminds me of I like the new. Jock villain. I'm kind of sad that he got cut in half by that portal opening.
You wanted to keep around Chad Football.
I liked Chad Football.
Whatever his name was.
I liked Chad Football because he wasn't like a traditional like Steve is like he's a dick with redeeming qualities, and then Billy's like a dick with like very little redeeming qualities. And then this guy is like he's an asshole, but nobody knows that though. He's like a golden boy. Like he's an American, like he's a Harvey Dent. like where
Right.
everyone
Okay.
loves him,
Yeah.
and you think that he's a normal, sane, likable person,
But
but then he
he's-
turns out to be
He'd
like
be,
kind of a
like one of the worst people on the
yeah,
show.
and so he represents America,
Yeah.
like in this show, like,
Yeah, like I'm like
where he's just
one
this
of-
guy who's like
right.
this close to snapping and,
Yeah.
and has a gun in his hand.
yeah,
by
like
the
yeah,
end
like
of it,
all these like crazy monsters and stuff, and like one of the scariest things is just a white guy with a gun.
like it's, and so I like that it was very creative and different
Yeah.
as far as like
Yeah.
the bully characters, and then it's like
So that's fair.
oh, I would have liked if somehow they were this close to achieving their goal, and then somehow he stopped them because he just didn't know what was going on.
Right.
That like
Yeah.
his misunderstanding and his motivation is the thing that the like straw that breaks the camel's back on their already precarious plan. But that wasn't really
Yeah.
conveyed. Like it seems like
Right.
he's just kind of there.
He just kind
they
of
kind of
made
deal
it.
with him.
He just kind of made it a little more complicated what
Yeah.
was happening.
But if
and
he was
then
the reason
got-
it didn't happen, that would be like an even
yeah, then
better,
it would be a reason. Then it would be then it would be
Like a
a stronger connection for his whole plot
Yeah.
line, which is like
Mhm.
like it's connected because
Mhm.
he's like I want to stop the killings or whatever, but he
Yeah.
just doesn't know why
Mhm.
everything is happening.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, then it would have been a stronger plot point to connect that subplot to the actual story
Mhm.
instead of just like it's a nuisance, and then he like just
Yeah.
happens to get chopped in half by
Yeah.
the thing.
So that he's
Dude,
yeah.
So that like I don't know
yeah.
to have a higher body count.
What if
I
he
guess.
he could be a nuisance and then he survives and then he actually like can like redeem himself by helping them stop it at the end, even if he doesn't.
Like next season or something
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, there
I
could
like
have
that character. Like, people could say he's pretty one note or
right.
one dimensional, but I think
Mhm.
that I don't know. I think that we haven't had that kind of person before on the show, and so it's cool to see how he
Yeah.
interacts with everyone
Yeah.
else. And,
Yeah, like I appreciated that they didn't do like the obvious thing with Lucas where like he just like wants to like they did it for a little bit where he's like, "Oh, I don't know about that Dungeons and Dragons that much. My sister plays it. I'm not a nerd, I swear."
yeah.
But then like as soon as he realized like, "Oh wait, these guys are crazy and also there's like stranger things happening."
Oh, yeah,
he left. and
He abandons them in
them-
a cabin where there's like traps and shit
Yeah.
in the woods. Like he just
Yeah, I'm like, "Okay, good. We're not like
no he's,
just making Lucas an idiot."
no.
So
I
that's
think
good.
I think it was a good amount of time that
Yeah.
he kind of because he starts with like, look, like let's try to be popular, and also Eddie is crazy, and like both of those things are like really understandable, but then
Mhm.
like he realizes that like they're all crazy too, and so it's a through line for him that he's a very rational person and he strives to be with the most sane people in any situation.
Yeah.
Like he fights Mike in season 1 because he's
Right.
like, "You're crazy, Mike.
Yeah.
Your penis is guiding this compass
You know why the compasses work?
because of your
'Cause
penis,
it's your,
Mike.
'cause it's your penis.
It's what's leading us on this stupid show." And so
Blood's,
I think
the blood's leaving the compass.
Yeah. And so with the exception of like season 3 where he's just kind of like
He's there.
he's just kind of
What does he do? Where is he in season 3?
in season 3 he's like
He's with
he's with Max,
Right.
and the plot is that they
they broke up
like,
and he's
they break up
yep.
every other week,
Right.
and he's like, "Oh, this is the last time she broke up with me. I got her back like this." And, like
Right.
he's just like got way too
Yeah.
much confidence.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
that-
He had something to do this
yeah.
season, so that's
Yeah.
good. And they made me like Max more. Like I think she's just fine before this season. This season, I'm like,
Oh.
I like her, and I don't want her to die, and like
Yeah.
I actually cared about her as a
Yeah,
character.
yeah, no, I liked her a lot more than
I mean-
before. She's kind of whatever
Yeah.
before, I guess. At least she's like different, Like,
Yeah,
there's a
she's-
different element.
yeah,
a definitely more new element for season 2.
Yeah, but it's also like it doesn't have anything to do with anything. Like
Oh yeah,
Like, it's just
in my
like-
video or
yeah, and you break it down perfect. Well, like in
Yeah.
season 1,
it's like,
that's like the whole thing is Elle like it's throwing a girl into a group of guys and it like throws off their dynamic.
Yeah.
And they kind of do that just again in season 2 with Max,
Yeah.
but she doesn't have like superpowers. So it's not like
yeah.
related to anything that's happening. It's just like she's also here. And she's like
Yeah.
kind of fun and cool, but like
And there's this whole subplot where like her like brother / like stepfather is like racist or something because
Right.
they're just the worst.
Yeah, because their family is just
Yeah.
the worst or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I guess is, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
kind of
And so I think
interesting,
they-
but it's
yeah.
just like, it's just like it's just I don't know. It's a B plot. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's your thing where in season we'll link your video, but you talk about how Billy is only in opposition to the group because Max is
with
there.
them. So if they
Max
just
wasn't
gave
there,
her up,
then they wouldn't have any problems with
Billy.
Billy.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's like there to
Yeah.
create conflict, but
No,
not in like an interesting way.
I think I like Billy in concept. I think I just wish they did more with him, but I do like that he kind of gets like a good like kind of full arc where it's like in season 2 he's like, he's kind of like being controlled by his dad, and then season 3 he's being controlled by a monster, and so like he kind of breaks free from what's controlling him and stands up to that thing. So the big monster in his life is his father, but he metaphorically stands up to his father by standing up to the big monster.
Right.
He doesn't get a chance. He doesn't get a chance to stand up to his dad though, because the monster kills him before he can do that. But it'd be cool if he survived that and was able to stand up to his dad.
He conveniently gets killed right before he conveniently
Right
sacrifices
before he can
himself.
he can be like actually
he gets
redeemed.
yeah.
Yeah.
He died.
So I don't know. Like that's
to
just
save us.
and so it's a cool idea, and it's sucky that he's only in my least 2 favorite seasons. But
yeah, that's fair. Did you like the arc in season 3 where he tries to sleep with their mom?
Nancy's mom's got it going on.
So good.
Yeah, because
I like
all the moms like him, but that's the only mom that he likes. Though.
Yeah. I like that
She's got blonde hair. She's got a purple swimsuit.
Mm-hmm. I like that they took a bit from one scene in season 2 and decided to make it a whole character arc in season 3.
Wait, what was the bit?
He's like looking for Max, I think, and he goes to their house.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know Nancy had a sister," and she's like, "Oh, I'm his mom, or I'm her mom, or whatever." Like, and that's the scene, and it's just like he's just like he just decides to like flirt with her a little to like try to get information from her, but like he doesn't actually like her. And then they're like, let's make that a whole like multi-episode arc.
I think it's only one episode.
It might just be the one
I
episode.
think it's the first
but
episode.
But it's like longer than it should be.
Because on the way to the motel, he gets stopped by like a shadowed figure.
Right? Is that where he gets absorbed into the?
He gets absorbed into the
whatever it is, the rat thing or something.
Monster.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's been a while since I've seen season 3.
Season 3 doesn't even make sense while you're watching it.
No.
It's just a big flesh rat person monster, and there's doubles of each person, but they're all dead also, but they're... And then... there's no way out.
Right.
The only way to stop it is to throw fireworks at it, or I forget how they kill it.
I think Elle just does her yelling thing and then kills it.
Yeah, that was another point that Jess made.
It's like, here's the part where...
Why didn't Vecna die? Elle did what she always does, where she just
yells really loud and puts her hand out. That's how she beats the villain every time.
That's how she beats everything,
Yeah, so exactly. It's like, well, that should have worked.
It should have worked.
But it just didn't this time, for some reason. Yeah.
I don't know.
Because they wanted to do another season, I guess.
It was I think the terms of the fight at the end between her and the Spookamagookam, whatever his name, Vecna,
the Gargoyle King.
I feel like they're very like ill-defined. Like it's hard to tell who's winning or why.
Right. Yeah, because they both
seems like one of them's completely in control of the fight, or the other one is.
Yeah.
And there's no in between.
Because they both have.
They don't have. There's no push and pull of like a lightsaber fight. I'll always go back to why Star Wars is great, but like and even that the terms of winning a lightsaber fight is just have you turned the other person to your allegiance? No, okay, then kill them. That's essentially how lightsaber fights
most
work.
of them. Yeah, because their powers are like they're both too powerful.
Yeah.
So like instead of
it's like Dragon Ball Z.
It should be, it's.
Maybe power level inflation,
right? Or maybe Chronicle is a better does a better job of like that kind of a psychic fight. Because like as soon as one of them holds,
Oh, that's a great example.
'Cause,
Chronicle
like,
is a great movie
Chronicle's
for
awesome.
power level
Yeah.
and understanding something that's ill-defined. You know?
Yeah, because like as soon as one of them is able to hold the other one still,
Yeah.
like they win, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
And that's not
unless they
something that
unless they don't need to move their body to in order to use their powers.
Yeah.
Which like maybe they don't, and it's just a willpower thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun like when you're watching it, but it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, what you said, it's too,
Yeah.
it's like too vague of a
No, I'm even
who's
thinking
winning at
in
any
Chronicle.
point.
I feel like they don't even do that because it's
No,
almost
'cause
like
they-
they're generating their own fields. So
Right,
It's like when
so they
you're
can't really affect
levitating
each other.
yourself,
Yeah.
You have full control over yourself, and so it's like at that point, it's just kind of subconscious to be flying.
Right,
and
so you
might
can
as
only
well
like
just-
throw
you might as
shit
well
at each
throw
other.
something
Yeah.
at each other. Yeah.
Which
And-
I think is more fun anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I guess with any kind of telekinesis, it's like, why don't you just make him stand still? Kylo Ren does
What?
that to
Right. Oh yeah, to
Cameron
put it. Yeah,
and
it's like
to Rey.
right, like
and
you've won. Like just
everyone.
break their neck. Like, well, yeah, like like in the last time, even though the first 10 times Vecna killed somebody, he just like did it right away. In the like finale, he's like, I'm gonna do it really slow this time to give you lots of suspense and time to defeat me.
I guess that.
And it's like, all right.
Yeah, and I get that there's a lot.
You know, that's a villain thing, but you know, whatever.
A lot of different people to cut between, but
Right.
I felt like they should have seen like some kind of error in the editing when they're like, man, like Rob and Steve and Nancy have been being choked by vines
right,
last,
yeah, for like half an hour.
hour.
They're dead, right?
Oh, thank God
I forgot about that.
Has it only been 30 seconds? I guess they're fine.
Yeah, they should have moved that scene.
But also trivia.
Or like shortened the episode or something.
Robin, that actor, is the daughter of
Ethan Hawke, right? Yeah.
and Uma Thurman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was her mom.
Yeah. She's
Okay,
got the
I kind of
face
see it now.
She's
yeah.
got the face of both of them.
If you put,
you'll see it.
That's why I didn't. That's why I'm like, I don't see it because I didn't add in Uma
You gotta
Thurman
add
in
Uma
my
Thurman,
in
yeah.
my brain. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And like,
I didn't know that.
I think she. Yeah,
she's
she has
fine.
a lot of the. I see a lot of the Hawkisms though. Like it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, is she the daughter from like Training Day? Like, because he's got a baby girl.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that movie's great until the end, where I'm like, what happened? They're all just yelling at him on the street now.
That's the best explanation of the movie.
Oh yeah, and they do a good, and then it all comes together. This is on Training Day. It all comes together with the where I like that he ends up dying because he doesn't get the money to the mob or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
The only scene that's weird, I guess, is the one right before that, where like the whole block comes out to like get mad at them, or I don't know what happens there.
Yeah, I don't know
I
either.
forget what happens there.
I don't remember.
It felt kind of like a Michael Bay scene.
Yeah, that's
and then but they bring back the news. What he said the headline would say about Ethan Hawke dying is what the headline is about him dying.
Oh yeah.
Over the radio, I don't know. It's a nice.
There you go.
It's a nice touch. It's a good movie, good ending. Anyway, sorry, we're talking about
Finger Strings.
Finger Strings and Ethan Hawke's daughter.
Ethan Hawke's daughter.
And yeah, I don't like that character.
That's fair.
She's just like, I'm
She's
klutzy.
I'm quirky.
Yeah, and even like in season 3. When they introduce her, I'm like, who are you? Why do you care about?
Right. Why do you care about what's
Steve
happening?
or Dustin or what's happening, and why do you?
Right, because she's like,
why do you know Russian? Like, she's a little bit of a Mary Sue, like a little like.
True. Yeah.
Like, does she have parents? Like, what?
That's a good point.
Like, does anyone have parents outside of this main kids? Like, does Steve have parents?
Yeah, they mentioned his
about
parents in season 1.
Yeah.
Because they go to they're away, and that's why they go to his house to like. To the like pool party.
Yeah.
Oh, my parents are away. We gotta. It's. But then I don't think we ever see his parents. Like, I guess they're just rich and away. Is the idea. So like they at least mention them, but yeah, Ethan Hawke's.
I'm just poking holes in everything.
Yeah, I mean like
on that I think I like more what she does to develop Steve as a character. But herself as a character, there isn't a lot there. I don't really like her that much.
Yeah, they're just like, I don't know, give her a love interest, I guess. Have her love interest just have the same personality as her.
Yeah. I guess.
I don't know. Is that an idea?
Call that a day.
Call it a
It's
day.
like Steve's like folding clothes. Like, oh, look at you kids hitting it off. Like, another day in the life of the best babysitter, or something.
Yeah.
Whatever his arc was.
Yeah, I don't know.
How to steal a van or RV. I don't know. But yeah, do you have thoughts? What were your that you didn't express in your video already, or?
I had something, but I forgot what it was. Oh, I remembered it. So, deep analysis time.
Oh my gosh.
So Stranger Things likes to do a thing where in the first episode of the season, they like foreshadow like what the main plot is about.
Mm-hmm.
And this time it was really subtle, and I almost missed it. But
I missed it.
The first one is the Demogorgon on the D&D thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty obvious. Second season is the arcade. They play Dig Dug, and there's tunnels, and there's a part where he's like, I'm gonna fuck the princess in, in the whatever that game is.
Dragon's Quest?
Dragon's Quest, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then that's that, and then he fucks Max at the end or whatever.
She shoves her skateboard right up.
Right up there.
Keep going.
Season 3, they go to the movies. They see Day of the Dead, which is about zombies and an underground bunker. There's an underground bunker and sort of zombies. Season 4, it's the history report at the start of Elle's class, where she's like, my dad is my hero or whatever. The mean girl is doing a report on Helen Keller, who is blind. And then later on in the season, Max gets blinded. That's it.
That's it?
Yep.
I thought it was that the dad was also blind.
Yeah, the dad's also blind. The Vecna makes his victims blind.
I thought you were going with that it was an assignment about, like, a hero who died, and that was Eddie.
No.
Also.
I don't think it's that.
Or
Well,
something.
because it's not. Then it's wrong, because Elle's dad didn't even die.
Someone who died.
I think
Not
it's
a
the
hero.
blind thing, because well, I don't know. It's sort of a motif that Vecna's like making his victims blind. Elle has to put on a blind.
Murdering them.
He's murdering them, but he also like sucks out their eyes or whatever, and then dad goes crazy and cuts his eyes out.
I thought the dad, nothing happened to him. He just went crazy and cut his eyes.
Yeah, but he was like it was still like connected to.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying
the trauma.
You're saying this whole thing's about.
It's all about Helen Keller. There's
You're
blind.
You're
there's
crazy
blind.
conspiracy.
No,
theory.
it's well. Why would you put that scene there otherwise? It's there for a reason, and the reason is the blind thing. Because here's why.
Maybe he's a hack.
Okay, maybe they're just hacks, but I'm giving them more credit because they always have a scene that like foreshadows the rest of the plot. So I was like trying to figure out what it was, and there wasn't like an obvious thing, and that's why I'm like, it's got to be this.
Yeah.
Because also, Helen Keller is a blind lady who learned how to communicate.
Is it because they can't talk also?
Because they can't talk also.
And
But
before she gets blind, before Max gets blinded, neither her or Lucas can say anything out loud because they don't want to alert that the gargoyle can't.
Yeah, it's like
they're mute and blind.
Yeah, it's like it's something about that because also like Helen Keller is a blind lady who learned how to communicate in spite of that, and like Elle has to put on a blindfold in order to communicate with Max. So there's like something there. I don't know if it's even fully fleshed out of an idea, but I think it's
the sensory deprivation.
The sensory deprivation.
It makes you blind and deaf.
So that in order to communicate
Max,
with someone
who is also now blind.
Yeah. There's like almost an idea there.
Think,
I think it was supposed to be that Elle got blinded by that fight, but then they're like, never mind, season 5, let's go. So then that just doesn't lead to anything. Because that would make more sense.
Ezra Bridger thing or whatever, or like we did in our Star Wars, where
exactly.
You get blind.
You get blind, but you learn the truth.
You can see,
but still you can see or something.
With the Force.
There's like almost an idea there.
I don't see the way you do.
I don't see the. I release a sonic wave from my mouth
and stick up my hand like this. Angela. Yeah, I think that's I think you're right in saying that it's almost an idea.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be good. Like
No, it's something though.
It's almost something. Like, well, there's lots of stuff that's like that they're just like, I feel like they just like we can make it as long as we want. Let's just throw lots of stuff in here and
yeah, it
like,
feels it feels kind of like a little Snyder cut ish.
Yes, like, that's a good. Where it's like you could have trimmed a lot of this down.
It feels like everything
but
that's
we
there is
didn't.
because the director wanted it to be there.
Yeah.
And you know what? This transitions pretty well. If you want to stop talking about this.
Well, yeah, that was my last idea.
Okay.
So I mean,
so
we could keep going.
To another thought I had, which is that I'm almost certain I didn't do the exact math, but I think that if you put the whole Obi-Wan show together, it's shorter than the Snyder cut.
Probably, because it doesn't feel that long.
Because there's 6 episodes and none of them are over an hour, and so that would be
right.
Like, so they're around like 45.
Yeah,
minutes,
but I feel like some of them are like 30, 35.
And so it's like every 2 episodes is like an hour, kind of. So it's like maybe 3 hours, just scratching 4 hours, like.
Yeah, it's probably like.
You can fact check this, but
yeah,
I think it's almost the same.
It's probably close,
if not shorter. So it could have just been a movie, I feel.
Right. Yeah, that's what's the weird thing about. How many of the Disney Plus like Marvel shows have you watched?
I watched the WandaVision.
Yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. Because it's just like I watched one mixed bag, and then I watched another mixed bag. I'm like, these are all just gonna be mixed bags, aren't they?
Yes, I watched. I kept going.
And I don't know what they're building towards.
I don't think they know either. But
that was kind of incentive.
Yeah,
for Marvel
I watched more of them. I don't really know why. I guess because I don't know, something to do. But yeah, it has it's Obi-Wan, I think, suffers from a lot of the same problems as the rest of them, where it's 6 hours, or not really, it's 6 episodes, so it's longer than a normal movie, but it's still like kind of short for a miniseries. When like I feel like 8 episodes is like the perfect length.
Oh yeah.
You know, when done well. But
Stranger Things.
But then even though it's like 6 episodes, it still feels like it has filler in it. Like episode 4, Obi-Wan, Leia gets captured again. Leia gets captured again. Obi-Wan rescues her. That's the episode.
Yeah,
we don't really learn anything about the characters.
I almost feel like that. Just even like it's somehow filler but also rushed.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to. It's this weird pacing of all these shows where it's both filler and, like, it feels like they have a lot of filler and they're like rushing through everything, and I don't know how they managed to pull that off, because it's like such a
because they got this like kind of idea at the beginning of the 4th episode where like they're like Obi-Wan's like in the fish tank or whatever. And,
right.
And Darth Vader's in a fish tank, and they're both they're both burned.
He's experiencing
something, and he's experiencing a little bit of that pain, and kind of.
Something.
It almost felt like he was like talking to Vader without talking. Like it felt like that.
It was almost
Father.
it was almost they're psychically linked through the Force or whatever.
They've got a their like blood brother bond thing or whatever, and like just even like I don't know, it was a cool idea, and then like. They're like, Obi-Wan, get out of the fish tank, or they're like, it's like he's like, what happened? They're like, we put you in a fish tank. He's like, I need to get out of this fish tank and be Obi-Wan again. Right. And that's that idea. It's done.
Yeah.
We never talk about his burns, the idea of him feeling Vader's pain.
No.
I guess it ties into his apology, but it's like this like a 3-4 hour series. And there's like maybe like 5 minutes total devoted to the idea from, and that includes also the scene where he gets burned. That's maybe a 2-minute scene, 2-minute scene of him maybe mulling it over, and then that's it. Like,
then moving on. Yeah, like that, and then like there's like a bunch of extra characters that aren't around long enough to get any development. Like you got a lady who's, I guess she's from the Empire, but she defected or whatever.
Kind of.
And then she dies or something.
It's like if
You have
I work
Kamal
for
Nanjiani, who's a fake.
I work for the OPP, but if
Network?
I found out that like they were somehow like the Empire from Star Wars, I
Right.
like try to do damage from the inside or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, she's like, I don't know.
she's like Paul Reiser. She's like, I'm good.
I'm actually good though.
I'm here to help.
I guess.
She kind of yeah.
Like she's a character, and then she dies or whatever, because rebels always die to accomplish things. That's their whole point.
Thermal detonator.
You
Boom.
have so like fine
Star Wars
whatever.
is great.
You have Camille Nanjiani, who's a fake Jedi, which I think is kind of a fun idea, but
Yeah.
again, he's like not really around long enough for that
Yeah.
to be like fleshed out into anything.
Yeah.
And then you have Ice Cube's son is also there.
Oh, that's who that was?
Yeah, I think so. Unless I'm racist past.
Was there okay?
And it's like that could have been one character, not like those put them all together, but like you could have had one character that's like
serves
a
that
rebel
purpose.
person that helps Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Like you don't if you only have 6 episodes, like you don't need to build a world. Like just
Yeah.
have one character that serves that purpose,
Yeah,
and
like,
maybe
of
they
those-
have and give
one
them
in every 3 of those
and give them one
characters dies.
yeah, and it's like well, or just either have one of them die, have them die, or give them
Yeah.
or give them because then like their whole purpose is like
Or you-
I'm part of the rebels and I'm
Yeah.
part of this network that helps people get out and like we just get exposition with
Or
them.
just have it
And,
have
like, just-
all of those characters just be Cassian Andor, if you really want to.
Sure, and
So
then
we don't need a
we don't need a whole
Andor
Cassian Andor show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
good.
way more fun.
Because I don't want a Cassian Andor show.
Yeah, and then he just dies later, and so
Yeah,
it works with
it's fine.
it works with the continuity. It's not like Obi-Wan's gonna be like, "Hey, Luke, at one point I knew this
The
guy,
guy
Cassian Andor."
right? Because who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
he knew lots of people.
Right, and like the lady has like a robot friend that's also a kind, like almost like that's almost. It's like there's all this extra stuff that like it doesn't matter, like and you don't have time to, and they're all and it's like
It's kind of like her dog, and it's still sad to see the dog die.
I guess so, but it's all like I don't know, it's like my brain stopped working for a moment there. Well, I don't know. Like this just it's this because like everything's like it's just do the Mandalorian. I guess is my point. Where like and because they like make it a long ass movie, but then there's like all this filler. But it still feels like they're rushing through everything. Because like, oh, we gotta save Leia. Oh, we gotta save Leia again. Oh, like this all. Oh, we gotta like do this.
I think there's a nature
there's no like
to it where
and there's like one scene where Leia and Obi-Wan are talking and then that's like the only good scene in this show.
I would have liked that more.
You know, you could have done
more him talking about Anakin and Padme.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
Yeah, that stuff's
This
good.
one time your mom like climbed this like tower.
Yeah, and then I cracked a great joke. I said she seems to be on top of things. It was hilarious.
She hit this like monster thing with a chain, and then it gave her a crop top, and then
and then
and then your dad got
I had to fight a big crab.
I had to fight the praying mantis.
Yeah.
Your dad was riding on this rhino thing.
It reminds me of this other time I was riding on a big lizard and I fought a cyborg who was riding in a wheel. It was pretty cool. Yeah, well,
it's
like
sad though. I got shot off the big lizard when all my friends got murdered over the galaxy.
Yeah. I mean, like you have like Owen Lars is in the show, kind a little bit.
He's one of the biggest internet memes right now.
Was like your father did or whatever. Yeah. That's good stuff.
It's like I forget there's some bit that was good, like I don't know. You keep talking.
Well, I'm
it's
just
a meme I was trying to remember.
Well, I'm just like it's this like and like oh you gotta have a Lady Sith who's like redeemable or whatever.
Lady Sith.
Like that's what she is. Like sorry,
it doesn't really matter.
That's her purpose. She's a bad guy.
Yeah. Oh, I saw a great meme where it was like Darth Vader, and a couple of the Inquisitor guys, including like the one that she like thought she killed earlier or whatever, or there was just like I think it was just like some of the Inquisitor guys, and they're like it's like that episode of The Office where they're like, okay, now like say this, and they're like staked out in like this like separate room. And they're trying to like get this other salesman to like give out his secrets,
Okay, and I'm
It's
not
just-
sure which episode.
It's total.
but-
It's a totally random episode,
Okay.
and it's like such a weird, like niche, like
Right.
context. But they're like, now tell her she's the Grand Inquisitor.
Right, they're just like messing
And it
with
just
her
cuts to
behind
like
the
when
scenes.
she's
Yeah.
like smiling in that scene
Right.
or whatever, and it's like, just tell her like.
Okay, here's because I don't know. Well, I've been thinking about. I did a whole long ass
Oh,
video
you made
about
a
Obi-Wan,
45-minute
so
video
I've been thinking about the
just
show a
about
lot.
Obi-Wan.
But okay, here's what I think. Like the kind of thing they should have done.
Mhm.
So episode 4 is not a very good one. Leia is captured. What's her name? Leia Sith is like, Obi-Wan's not gonna save you, so you might as well. What is she trying to get from her? She's just like, oh, Obi-Wan's not gonna save you. Take
She
that.
wants, so wait.
Does
wait,
she want
wait,
any
back-
information
back
from
up,
her?
Back up.
Yeah.
So Lady Sith
Yeah.
wants to
She's trying
kill Darth Vader because he
Right, 'cause
killed
he
all her
killed-
friends.
yeah.
And so in order to kill Darth Vader, she
she's-
needs to kill
to capture Obi-Wan.
to capture Obi-Wan. Why does she need to do that?
So to lure out Darth Vader, I guess, because she knows he's Anakin somehow. I guess because she
and
recognized.
so in order to
him
lure out
or
Obi-Wan,
whatever.
she needs to capture Leia.
Right.
And so it's like when you
It's
start to
like-
kind of unravel
Yeah.
this, it's like it only makes sense as you're watching it.
Yeah.
It's like you kind
yeah.
of just, I don't know, why don't you just like try to like spar with Vader? Like I thought it was like a Sith thing that like you could just kill each other and that would be fine.
Yeah, well, that's the whole-
there's only two of them.
That's
right?
why. That's the whole thing.
That's
why
the
there's
lore
supposed to
behind
only
it,
be
yeah.
2 of them is because they always, when there's a bunch of them, they always end up betraying each other and killing each other.
Yeah, like when they all
And-
stab each other.
So when there's only
In
2 of
this-
them, then they like work better together because there's only so much you can betray at that level.
Yeah,
Um,
and does like Palpatine just like fully trust Vader to deal with like this like high schooler like I'm a better jock than you.
I
kind of
guess
shit
I don't
that,
like. That's what
Vader-
frustrates.
Yeah.
Well, because here's what it is. It's a combination of Rebels and Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order is a video game, and you have a lightsaber, and you can't just fight Darth Vader because Darth Vader would just kill you. So you have to have like mid bosses and that you can fight with a lightsaber. So you have like, oh well, we'll just make up like low level Sith characters that you can fight with lightsabers.
What if you just had to fight a whole bunch of guys?
Well, like that's
none
the
of
other
them-
one. You
and
do it
none-
like an Arkham thing where you
none
fight
of
100
them-
guys.
Yeah, you have to fight 100 guys
Because it
your
has
boss can be just more magna
because the
guards.
the game has Star Wars in the title. And there's a guy with a lightsaber on the cover,
But
so you
Danny,
want to be able
you
to
know
do
what?
a lightsaber fight in the
they
game.
thought about this, and
Mhm.
in episode 3, they just make some droids, give them some sticks.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Like, make the Magna Guards,
Yeah.
make General Grievous. They're not
do
Sith.
you know what? Here I'm gonna give Last Jedi some points.
Oh no. What?
The guys that they fuck up
The
in,
Red
the
Robin.
the Red Robins, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Red
It
Robins.
doesn't matter what they are.
Yeah, they're like video game characters, basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they all have like a different thing, but they all just get fucked up. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Oh, I got it.
The Council of Burgundy. What are they?
Well, because they're not the Knights of Ren, because the Knights of Ren
They're just-
show up in
I
the
think
next
they're just
one.
like Imperial.
They're just-
Guard.
Yeah, they're
some-
Snoke's guards or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You can
That's what you
find
do.
the name on the
Yeah.
action figure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then you have, oh, well, now there's precedent for low-level Sith, so we could just put a character in here. And, like, it doesn't really make any sense, but, like, we're just doing it anyways.
Why does that lightsaber fight in Last Jedi have more in common with, like, the street fight in Anchorman than, like, any other action scene in Star Wars?
That's such a good comparison. I never thought of that.
I just thought of that.
Yeah.
And they just, oh my gosh, they just violently kill all of them, and there's no
Yeah.
implications,
No.
dark side or light, as
Yeah.
to what that means.
Yeah, my fan fiction of that scene is that they bang after that,
Yeah.
because it's like,
What's that? It's like 2 hours into the movie, and somehow there's more movies.
there's
after
yeah,
that.
that's when I was like losing my mind in the theater, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to pee so bad,
Oh,
and
I
I saw
checked my watch around then.
yeah, and I saw AT-ATs in the trailer, so I'm like, I know there's more to this movie somehow,
like somehow
and it
there's
feels
gonna
like it's over. They just killed the main bad guy. Like, what is left to do? And it's like, oh no, there's a lot more left.
We killed Luke. Anyway,
And
we
Luke-
can, we can
anyways,
rant about
yeah,
Last Jedi,
well,
but
that's another time.
yeah.
But what we're talking about? Oh yeah, Lady Sith. Okay, here's what I think they needed in that episode. I think they just needed to give her a big villain monologue. And she, like, kind of does, but it's just her rehashing, like, stuff that they've said before of, like, Obi-Wan's not gonna find you, and I'm so great at being a bad guy.
I thought...
What they needed is a big villain monologue where Leia's like, don't worry, Obi-Wan will find me, because he's my dad, but not really, but also not my other dad, who's also not my dad, or whatever. Yeah. And then Lady Sith needs to be like, oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let me tell you all about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Great Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, leader of the Clone Wars, and he raised the greatest Jedi of all time, who betrayed the Jedi Order and killed all of my friends. He is the greatest failure of any Jedi in the history. He is the greatest insult to the Order. Yeah. He is the one who found the clones. Yeah. He's the one who started the Clone Wars. Obi-Wan is the greatest failure. Like, just keep, like, going and, like, really ripping on him.
I thought the idea that you were gonna go at, which was that, like, it's like... Yeah, so what I thought you were going with that was that she's like, oh, once I was a little girl like you, and someone like Obi-Wan would save me, and
he didn't.
I just sat in a pile of bodies for a bit, waiting for all the leaves.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Is like we need to connect those dots. Cause I think maybe that was like at one point that was the idea, but then like, oh, we want to leave that reveal for later, or something, or like, oh, that's all in the subtext. It's like. No, Star Wars is like...
I knew it was her as soon as I saw that scene. The first...
as soon as that was the opening scene? Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, no, that's why it's like...
I saw a little black girl, and then later I see an older black girl, I'm like, oh, it's probably the same person.
Yeah. Otherwise you wouldn't have shown...
Black.
Otherwise you would... How many black people in the Star Wars universe?
We
like 4?
Lando,
you got
Finn. That's
Finn.
about it.
Mace Windu. Yeah. And Lady Sith, and that's about it.
Yeah. No, but yeah, there's a lot of cool... I think there's a lot of great ideas in that... In prequels and in that lore, and I love they fully commit to the lore though, like they never whenever something is established in the Star Wars lore, they never backpedal on it. They only ever will like kind of like maybe do like a retcon, but in service of fleshing it out more though, which I think is really funny. It's like the Death Star was an inside job.
Well, it's always
it's always actually good guys.
It's always like a yes.
It was
and.
An inside job.
Yeah,
their brains.
It's usually a yes and not just actually it's this instead. Except for like all the Disney stuff where they're like, all those books they don't count anymore. We're making new books, but like
any kind of
outside of that,
like visual medium.
Any of the movies and shows and stuff have.
And the main canon, which is I think is fun, and they're like oh, it's the same castle from Rogue One because that's just something we've established now.
Right.
So it's like why wouldn't it be? Like that's just the world, and like that wasn't even something I thought about. Like it was just
I didn't even question that. I was just like that's where Vader lives.
Of course, he lives in a dumb castle. It's the Ralph McQuarrie art. Well. Ralph McQuarrie had a lot of other ideas that didn't make it, so think about that.
Where's Fishman Obi-Wan or whatever?
But
I think Star Wars is a dumb soap opera. You need to put all your like themes out right in the open, because. Like I guess that is that what the show is, because like there's all these other characters as well, but I guess the show is about Obi-Wan and this little girl and this other little girl that turned into a bad guy and Darth Vader. Yeah. I guess I don't know. And there's like almost an idea between those 4 characters, but not really because they don't like. And the other thing is. Well, like, one of the other things that's weird is, like, Obi-Wan keeps being like, oh, Vader wants me, like, it's not about you guys, I'm the one he wants and stuff, which is, like, yeah, it's called Obi-Wan, but it's, like, I feel like that's such a weird direction, because, like, Obi-Wan's whole mission at this point in the story is to protect Luke and Leia. It's completely not about him. He completely sacrifices himself in A New Hope just to give them time to escape.
And then later,
he helps.
He can tell Luke to turn off the target.
Turn off the
Use the instrument panel.
Use the instrument panel, Luke.
That's what it's there for.
An advanced computer system designed to help you hit tiny targets. It's what it's there for.
Yeah. So he kind of, I bet he kind of uses his force to see into the future a little bit and see. Oh, I helped them escape when I die here, and then I get.
Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that it also makes me think the how Vader. You went off on their lightsaber fights in this show.
Because there's so many.
I think it's even worse to say it's like, okay, so like of the 4 times Anakin and Obi-Wan fight, Obi-Wan wins like 2 of them, and the only time he doesn't win is when he's like A, not at full strength, and B, just lets Vader kill him. Like, he's in complete control anytime they fight each other. So it's like, there shouldn't be any tension now. If they were to fight again, it's like, oh yeah, of course everyone's going to just kick his ass. Yeah. He's fully capable of beating a crippled man in a fight. What does he have to prove at this point?
That's what's that's what's weird about them fighting in between.
I like that he apologized, because I'm like, yeah, that was a dumb fight, Obi-Wan. Why'd you apologize for kicking? You should apologize.
Beating the shit out of a disabled person.
Beating up someone living with a disability.
I beat up this asthmatic with no arms and legs. Well, good for you, Obi-Wan. You're a hero.
Apologize to that man. Give him some better lungs. Shake his hand.
I pushed him out of his wheelchair. I'm a total badass.
Oh my gosh. It's just. Yeah, so it's like I'm glad that they didn't present it as a triumphant moment, because it shouldn't feel like that when it's like I can. It's more just at that point. It's kill or be killed. He feels like it's that when he doesn't see the humanity in him anymore. And
it's like a sad my friend is truly lost kind of moment.
Yeah,
but we already got that moment in Revenge of the Sith when they fought in that movie.
It wasn't as good though in Revenge of the Sith, I think. And so
then are you arguing that I'm so sorry is better than you were the chosen one? Because I kind of like you were the chosen one.
I think I think I'm sorry is better because he says less. It's more powerful. That one is and that one he's just kind of lecturing him. He always lectures him. That's all he ever does to Anakin in those movies. It's just like, you're the fucking worst. Why did you jump out of the speeder? You lost your lightsaber again. Why did you do that? Why did you do that, man? And then he never kind of owns up to not I don't know. He's
I guess
he is like, I have failed you, and then that's all he says. And then he's like, wait, Anakin. He goes back to lecturing him.
Right.
It's like, Anakin, he's the bad guy. Well, I thought you were the bad guy. And then he's like, well, then you're just you can't be reasoned with then.
You are
I'm
lost.
Gonna keep trying to kill you.
Well,
essentially, is how their conversations usually go down.
Only a Sith steals an absolute.
Everyone's just like, well, he can't be reasoned with. I'm gonna kill this guy.
This guy's ass.
guess I'll murder him. And I just
I'm so sorry. I don't know. Ewan McGregor's great.
He's great though.
I guess I'm just thinking of it as a whole
saga.
That's the thing, is it's you can't, you can obviously, because they are doing all this out of order shit, but I feel if you're going to, you have to really think about each piece and where it goes and why it's there, which I feel Lucas kind of did, even though it's not great. And the obvious
Lucas was so ambitious that he decided to call his movies 4, 5, and 6 by 1982 or something stupid.
Yeah, so he's going for something, but that's part of.
He was always focused on the grand storytelling.
Right. Yeah. It's not about the little details. It's about the big picture.
And that's one of the greatest strengths of the prequels is the big picture. Because he's such a good big picture guy.
And I think that's because it's, I don't know, it's more poetic and interesting if they fight once when they're young and once when they're old, and not a couple times in the middle for no reason also. And
and just even the parallel there that I noticed where it's Obi-Wan gets the physical victory, but the Sith get the overall victory, and then it's Darth Vader gets the physical victory later, but then the rebels get the overall victory.
It's
as far as the movies as a whole are concerned. Those two, whenever they fight, whoever loses ends up winning.
Right. Yeah.
And it's kind of it ties into like in God's kingdom, first is last, and
right, and it's like
it doesn't, what you think isn't what's real. Like
yeah, it's like when
your eyes will deceive you, and you can't think in like earthly terms when you're talking about the Force.
Right. Yeah. When Obi-Wan beats Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, it's like he's killed Anakin, but Vader is reborn.
Yeah.
But and then when Vader beats Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan's reborn as a ghost.
Yeah.
So there's like this. It's poetry at Ryan's, and there's
pushes him to his most evil self, and Vader pushes him to his most good self. And
Vader dies, or Anakin dies in fire, and Vader is born in fire, and then in Return of the Jedi, the Vader suit is burned, and Vader is born. Anakin is reborn.
Anakin's the only thing that's left. That you gotta.
So
fire is the only thing that can create or destroy
Darth Vader. Yeah, it's like the One Ring where it can only be destroyed in the thing that was forged.
Yeah.
But there's like a concept to it, and like a point to each of the things that happen.
Even like that, I know I've actually gone back on this because I'm like, why doesn't Anakin use a red lightsaber on Mustafar?
Because he's not full Vader yet.
It's because he thinks he's right.
Right, he still thinks he's a Jedi.
He still thinks he's doing the right thing.
Right,
so
even though he's like, I'm Darth Vader now.
Two blue lightsabers looks cool on an entirely orange planet.
Right, yeah.
So visually that battle is...
Okay, yeah. Here's another thing.
And I don't know if that's like Lucas just like being a hack and just like, he just didn't
it would be cool.
He forgot to make a new lightsaber. He didn't get around to it.
He hadn't gotten around to it yet.
He was busy, and so he's still using his blue one.
Yeah, and like, but that's the other thing is like, what a cool, like, I know it's like obviously like a big part of it is probably just that, hey, wouldn't it look cool if they fought in a volcano?
They fought on
like, yeah, but what a cool location.
Yeah.
Compared to both Vader fights and the Obi-Wan show.
Like,
there's some like hills and there's some rocks and it's completely dark.
Yeah.
And you can like, unless you have the brightness up all the way, you can't even tell what's happening.
It's like every new planet in Star Wars is like this, like, it's not quite, if it's either A, a desert, or B, it's like, there's like rocks, or like it's kind of like, it's like gray sand. Like,
yeah, they're like always the most boring planets.
Every planet, it's a terrain we haven't seen before.
there's some rocks. These rocks are great though. They're always boring, and we've seen them many times.
Maybe water is also there.
This is them pitching it.
It's dumb though. That's the thing, is that it's like, oh my gosh, these clowns are running the show.
Yeah.
And I have ideas that are as good, if not slightly better.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's like frustrating. Yeah. It's like, anyone could have made this.
Yeah, it's true. We could have written.
Anyone could have made this. Only Lucas could have made the prequels.
No, it's true.
There's other biomes on Earth that they haven't done yet. Probably, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Well, we got like a rainforest jungle or something like that.
There's that. I
guess they do that
in the Gendy Clone Wars.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
They fight out a jungle, and there's like a Aztec pyramid that they.
It's Yavin.
It's Yavin 4. You're absolutely right. It's Yavin. I guess totally forgot that was Yavin.
But
that's cool as.
Yeah, it's cool. They have the red. I guess it's the planet because it's not because they're on the moon.
Is it?
It's Yavin 4, so it's
the sun is in the way. They're like trying to the Death Star is like just peeking up from behind this planet.
No, because they're on the fourth moon of Yavin. That's why it's Yavin 4. Yeah. And it's in the way, and they're like, well, it's gonna take about 30 minutes, which will be just enough time for them to blow up the Death Star, which is a little convenient, but. It puts a ticking clock on what's happening. So
no, it's nice.
And they could. Why don't they just blow up the planet to get to Yavin 4? I don't know. Just shut up. It's cool.
They only got
Maybe it takes them a long time to
yeah.
charge the thing. They gotta turn a big crank to charge it.
After the Death Star blows its load, it's gotta eat a sandwich before it can go again.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, the fact that giant machine only had one exhaust port is pretty effective mechanics if you think about it.
It's incredible.
Well, it's all about
engineering in these things.
Yeah, it's all about the Empire being like arrogant, you know.
We were talking about the Obi-Wan show, I think, at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's all Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's all part of the thing.
I don't
know. Do you have any?
I don't see it like that anymore.
No,
I see
know.
it as Lucas's Star Wars.
Yeah,
and
everything
else.
That's fair.
And
that's kind of the best way to think about it.
I think the key distinction is that Lucas always wanted to pioneer filmmaking,
right?
And so he wanted to push what was possible to do with special effects in a movie,
which he did.
That's what he did in both trilogies, and then after that, it's like let's just use what existing special effects we have, and so I think Mando is the closest we got because they have the volume that hadn't been done yet, and so.
Right, and they have the cool room.
But now everything's shot there, and so it's just kind of tired, and like it's painfully obvious that everything is shot there now, and so it's like, oh great, it's like 10 people on a soundstage.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but
yeah.
It's not pushing to be anything new or like as far as like filmmaking is concerned.
Yeah, they're not. Well, I don't know. Maybe I guess that's what we got James Cameron for, doing underwater mocap or whatever for Avatar 2.
Underwater mocap for Star Wars 17 or whatever.
Well, yeah, they should be like coming up with like we wouldn't have Gollum without Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
It's a necessary step in order to get to using that technology more effectively and other stuff. Yeah, like, I don't know. I guess I don't know. Maybe I've gone back all the way around to the prequels are good actually. Because like I don't know. At least they have a point. At least there's an idea to them.
The point and the idea became so evident when all these like Disney Star Wars movies came out and they had no point or idea.
Yeah.
It was just like Lucas, like those movies were made for the purpose of like pioneering special effects and telling a grand story, and then everything after that was made for the purpose of making money.
Yeah.
And so it's like when your purpose is like ill in that way, I guess everything about your product can't help but be like masked by that, by covered in a shroud of like shit, I guess, or a shroud of insincerity.
Right, but I guess so. But I feel like there's no
insincere, like JJ loves Star Wars, but it's like he absolutely did what a studio told him to do. When it came down to it, he didn't. Those movies aren't edgy in any way, and Lucas's movies are so edgy.
They're weird and different, and like nobody.
Han just like kills a guy in a bar, and he gives the bartender extra money.
Yeah, he's
to get over it. Like,
he's a dick.
Yeah. Which Obi-Wan just slices a red man in half.
Yeah,
and everyone's fine.
And everyone's cool with it.
It's like that's whack, man.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess Lucas lost his way at some point with like the Greedo shot first stuff, but like Leia kills a guy in her opening. She's just the stormtrooper. She just shoots him. Leia shot first, like.
They stun her, but
they're like put it on stun, and then she blows them away.
Like crap. I'm not expecting that.
Yeah, it's great. But I don't know. I don't know what I want, I guess.
I want it to be done, I guess.
Yeah.
Stop trying.
Okay, yeah, it's like you made an Obi-Wan thing.
Just call it a day.
Like, what else? You clearly have no other ideas, so you might as well just call it, I think. Mando Season 2 had a pretty good ending, so...
Yeah, I felt like that.
That's the end.
Apparently there's more in the Boba Fett. The Boba Fett show is just like...
Yeah, because they ran out of ideas for a Boba Fett show immediately. And they're like, oh, just put Mando in it. I don't
it's a cloud
know.
for a Mando show.
Yeah.
Um,
It's funny the way they were like advertising it. They're like, it's we're spinning off from Mandalorian with this new character, Boba Fett. That's like
when Mando was initially at least a little popular because he looked
he looked kind of like Boba
he
Fett.
looked kind of like Boba Fett.
But then they like gave him a personality and stuff also.
Oh, he's absolutely
He's a good character.
I think season 1 is freaking great.
Yeah.
Great and season 2 as well. Not as much because it got
It gets bogged down by like, hey, look.
Filoni's fingerprints, but
Yeah.
overall it's pretty good. I'd say.
Uh-huh.
I still like enjoyed every episode. Like even when it's not great, like I think of like probably one of the worst episodes in season 2. Okay, it's probably the one where like Grogu's like doing his like
he's
Zoom
sitting
call
on the rock,
and then
and
like
Boba Fett is
bunch of dumb
gets to beat up a bunch of guys, and he's dumb guys badass.
Show up and they all punch each other. Like at least that like served the story in some way.
Right.
And
Yeah, that like, if they just had like one or two few like, hey, look, it's this characters in that season, it would have been like perfect. Because they could have like had it like when he goes to that one planet or one planet Tatooine. When he goes to Tatooine and he like finds the Boba Fett armor, but it's just like a random guy who has it.
Yeah.
Like, they could have just left it at that.
Yeah, that's funny.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
But they couldn't help themselves.
It's me and Tad Hamilton.
Yeah. Is that wait, what?
It's not Josh Duhamel, but he looks like Josh Duhamel. And Tad Hamilton's the character he plays.
Yeah.
And then they call him that sometimes on Mr. Sunday.
Josh Duhamel.
Tad Hamilton.
That's great.
It's like his Jake Chisel.
Yeah, it's it's Timothy Elephant.
Oh, okay.
Timothy Elephant. Yeah, like I don't know. Star Wars is good sometimes, I guess.
Yeah.
Was it ever good? Who knows?
I think it was. I really think that like the original trilogy is like fantastic, and like I watched Return of the Jedi on Father's Day. That was my request.
Nice.
Because it's a movie about fathers.
That's true.
Yeah, even though like Endor stuff isn't like bad. Like I don't know what people are talking about.
Oh yeah, I like it.
It's a chance. It's kind of like the last chance we get to have Han, Leia, and Luke like going on an adventure together, and
right.
like there's like they like run into like a group of the there's a cool ass speeder chase, which
right,
which is great. They end up getting separated, and then they get captured by the indigenous population, which is a bunch of teddy bears, and they think that C-3PO is a god, the guy that they all have been annoyed with the entire time. He's the only guy. He's the only one that can get them out of the situation, but his programming prevents him from doing so. It's so funny. Like it's great. It's so Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
And this is after like 40 minutes of being in the desert. They somehow transition to this being the movie.
Right.
And it works. Like
yeah. I was I just finished reading Dune, and by reading I mean I listened to the audiobook. Yeah. And I was thinking about Return of the Jedi because I have a new hot take, which Return of the Jedi is kind of a like white savior messiah story. Where C-3PO is the Messiah.
He's the white savior?
Yeah, because like think about it. It's like semi spoilers for Dune, but if you've seen the first one, you kind of get an idea of where it's going. Paul, Tim, what's his name? The actor, the main guy from Dune. Timothy Chalamet, the Tom Holland of good movies, as Hunter calls him. Timothy Chalamet has been like orchestrated into being a messiah figure for the people of Dune, and eventually he gets like assimilated into their population and like ends up leading them to defeat the bad guys, the Empire, yeah, which is almost directly the plot of Return of the Jedi from C-3PO's perspective, where he's just a seemingly random guy who gets put onto this planet of indigenous people who have a prophecy that he's their god.
I didn't get a prophecy
and
that
then
hadn't seen a robot before. So
well,
I freaked out.
but they seem to think he's a god, and it seems to be something in their culture that's already in existence, and he manipulates them into overthrowing the empire into overthrowing the invading force on their planet. It's like kind of the same. It's a little bit like it's not exactly the same, and it's not. And I'm not saying like C-3PO shouldn't have done that or whatever, because like obviously the Empire's bad or whatever.
Well, I thought there's this layer that like also that like Leia is like friends with them.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it as well.
They like
They already
Leia.
like Leia.
Yeah.
They're already kind of on
They could
board.
have just been like, "Hey, we're with her,"
Yeah.
but like they don't speak bear. So
Right?
like,
Yeah, they need him.
Yeah.
But it's like there's similarities for sure, and I mean it's part of like a story that's been done many times of the Vietnam War and stuff, which is kind of the analogy where like this
Culture.
this people are like, yeah, let's just invade here. We'll just invade here, no problem. And then the people that live there who are technologically inferior, but are still able to completely give the invading force like just kick their ass because they're like so much
more equipped
fight
them on their
on that territory.
Yeah.
And like
All these,
using guerrilla tactics and stuff, you're able to fight off all the much, seemingly more advanced force.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of idea.
Yeah.
But like,
to be,
and it's done with goofy little bears and Muppets. Like, it's great. That's the other thing I like about Return of the Jedi is like so much of it is just like weird costumes and Muppets and like made up languages and like C-3PO speaking nonsense to a bunch of little bears, and like that's the movie. but it's still done in a way that's like you always know what's happening in the story, and like even though like half the movie is just people like speaking like weird puppets speaking made up languages.
Dude, my cat's fighting a bug. Sorry, what were you saying?
Just Return of the Jedi is fun, and it's got a bunch of Muppets in it, and I think that's fun.
I guess we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't know. Any other last thoughts on anything?
No, it's
Star Wars is creatively bankrupt.
You should maybe just stop making it. The end.